Hi, good day. I'm super excited as always to share some of those tips that I think can help us catapult our career to the next level. And like I mentioned in the earlier series, in the next few weeks, months, as it were, our focus will be on social and people skills. Like I did mention earlier, it's rather unfortunate that our focus over our career has always been on knowledge, competence, and the rest of it. But I've realized that if you do not have the right social and people skills, it is almost very difficult that you will not be able to get to the very top. So, quickly, today we're going to be talking about communication. And you might want to ask me, what exactly is communication? Communication is the exchange of information from one person to the other, conveying a particular message. And what are those three aspects of communication we'll be looking at? One, we'll be looking at verbal skills, we'll be looking at non-verbal skills, and we'll be looking at listening skills. Today, our focus is going to be on verbal skills. And what are those things that are extremely very important when you are communicating verbally? First, you know that when we're communicating verbally, what we use usually are words and vocabularies. And for us to get those across to our audience or the other party, there are a few things that are extremely essential that we pay attention to. One is the fact that it has to be clear, and clarity is extremely very important. Another thing that is extremely very important that we should focus on is that we have to be as concise as possible. And of course, also the tone and voices that which you use to communicate is extremely very important and might be communicating the wrong message if it's not well used. We also need to ensure that we articulate our words and of course we use our punctuation effectively the way it should be used to communicate the right message. We also need to provide the right feedback when we're communicating. Because, like we mentioned earlier, communication is a two-way thing. So, if you're communicating and you're not getting the right feedback from the other party, it doesn't necessarily make our communication as effective as we should think it should be. Another thing that is extremely very important, even though it's verbal, is our body language. In the course of communicating verbally, people are looking at your body language, the posture, and the rest of it. So we should be also pay attention to it when we're communicating. We should also be culturally sensitive to the other party we're communicating because those things also have a way of conveying the message that we want them to communicate. And of course, we should have empathy. I think those are things that we should focus on when we are talking about verbal skills. However, in extension to that, there are things we could do that could help us to improve our verbal and communication skills. Of course, we should practice regularly. We should know how to use our punctuation as well as we should do. We should practice body postures and all the rest of it, and a few other things. I think today we'll be rounding up by saying that communication and communicating effectively is extremely important in the course of advancing our careers. And it is a skill that we must learn and we must practice on a day-to-day basis so that we can be a better communicator, we can be able to effectively communicate and extend our message across to the other party, and we can always project our brand the way we want to. As always, thank you so much for listening. Until I come to you again, I must say thank you and appreciate you all.